It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Wednesday show, October 11th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you're watching on those platforms. Hello. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, our Woodward Sports YouTube channel coming up on 55,000 subscribers. Subscribe to the show, like the show as well. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Braylon Edwards on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon to you too, Ryan and Monty. I'm doing amazing this day. The Lord woke me up, so I feel great about it, as always, as you should. But I finished watching the David Beckham piece.
Uh-oh.
And I got to just say something. I'll make this short. It won't be a rant. I'm glad the days of the tyrant managers, coaches, I'm glad those days are gone. Soon to be gone, because Bill Belichick is like the last of a dying breed. He's holding on. I'm finishing up the Beckham piece, and it talks about how his coach at Manchester United, who brought him to the team when he was 13, traded him in the middle of the night, much like they do NBA players and football players over here. Traded him in the middle of the night. He's been like a father figure. Traded him in the middle of the night, didn't tell him anything. Pieces of, you know what, because this is a relationship, Victoria, Posh, Spice, Beckham, because it blew up, he didn't feel like he could control him anymore. So he traded him in the middle of the night. What did the Real Madrid coach do when he came there? That was from Italy. Once again, he puts him on the bench because he thinks he's not focused. He's too focused about Victoria Beckham. Puts him on the bench, says he'll never play for Real Madrid again. Brings him back, he plays, and they win a cup. What I tell you,
so I don't need to watch the Beckham
not at all, because you weren't going to watch it anyway.
anymore.
You weren't going to watch it anyway. I'm just saying I'm glad that the tyrant coach is thinking, if you don't do it their way, here's the door, here's the highway. I can get it done, because Bill Belichick showed us that you can't get it done. So I'm tired of the tyrant coaches. I'm glad that they will be no more after Belichick.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, Rye. Hey, Bray. Hey, everybody. JB and Parker. It's hump day, man. It's another fall day out there. No sun. We're not going to see the sun anymore, probably. Maybe a couple days here and there. But
thought we were supposed to see it today a little bit.
It's over, man.
Oh,
the sun in Michigan, you know it's over. Once this time of the year comes, this is what we got. So it is what it is, but we're Lion fans, so we're happy.
It is fun. You know, I was a guest on the old Drew and Mike podcast
I heard about
yesterday.
That. I heard about
that. You know, they pump us up a lot over there, and we absolutely thank them. They're always giving Woodward Sports a shout-out, so I want to give a shout-out out to them as well. One of the things Drew had said to me was, how much fun are you having? How much fun do you have going to work every day? And it is awesome to come here in week 6 of the NFL and talk about a football team that is one of the top teams in the NFL, one of the top teams in the league. There isn't anything that you need to hope for. They're doing it, Braylon, and I think part of, you know, this team's birth, as it were, this team's excitement is just, it floods into all areas of the day. You know, Tom Mazaway wearing a Lions jacket today. You see Lions hats and Lions shirts and Lions flags all over the place in this city. People are buying in. It's fun to talk about. There is something new every day, and today is the same way. There is new stuff today as well.
Yeah, you know, it's a good thing. Yeah, last night I forgot to tell you, I went to a charity bowling event by Amon-Ra St. Brown. It was for his charity, which supports the Boys and Girls Club of America. Shout out to Parker. I see you, Parker, on it. It's Jason Kabinda. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Khalif Raymond, who was a joy. They all were a joy and delight to me. Khalif Raymond was a joy and delight. He came up to me. First of all, he kept calling me Mr. and Sir. I was like, what is this old S-H-I-T? I'm 40.
Half his age.
This is very true. So then I took it as respect. But Khalif came up there. He's big-eyed. Man, it's good to meet you. Oh, okay, Braylon Edwards, University of Michigan. It was love. It's good to meet him. It was for a good charity. They're good people. They're in the community. Shout out to my mentor, Dan Russell, Tryon, for bringing me to it. But you said, man, like when the team wins, when everybody wins, you start to see it. When you got players in categories leading, close, top 5, you start to see win. You look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff is number 2 quarterback in QBR. Jared Goff has thrown the ball. He's throwing the ball successfully down the field the most this year in deep ball passes. With I think I want to say something to the tune of 23 passes down the field that are over 20 yards, and he leads the league in 40-yard passes down the field as well. You look at Aiden Hutchinson, he leads the league in pressures, and he's starting to close the gap in sacks. You look at Jerry Jacobs, he's fourth in the league in interceptions. He's starting to be getting a knack for where the ball is. The Lions defense, fourth in the league. When you start to put these numbers up, when guys do what they're supposed to do, and the coach lets them do that, like you said in the locker room, he said, hey, guys told me we got it. When you start to have that type of chemistry, you start to see those type of numbers, and you start to be able to think of some things that you never were able to think about before, like the Super Bowl.
Those are some weak scores up there.
That's the first thing you notice about that is the bowling scores.
So this is not my lane, man. You notice this is Amon-Ra St. Brown's lane. He was shooting on.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, actually, this is his lane above him. So that's Jason. Him would be Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, God.
And I don't think Khalif was bowling.
Woo.
Oh, my God, that's great.
So feel free.
Oh,
that was
man.
not me. I was 186 and 172.
Hey,
not great,
if
but
you run into those guys, tell them I want to take them bowling and show them a couple things.
They were more worried about the women.
I know.
It's the women's, man.
It's the women's, man. It's my buddy Gerard Warren right there.
But
so Amon-Ra goes by him.
He does.
I love it. That's what the kids say today. They say him.
But the good thing about it is when you see that on the board, like it's one thing if we would have spotted that and that would have been, and I hate to even say this, so I won't. If that would have been another player and you know he's not him, then it would have been funny. The thing that's good about Amon-Ra St. Brown saying I'm him, his play backs it up. How we feel about him backs it up. The player that you said you can't play without was him. I mean that pun intended.
And he was back on the practice field today, according to our Matt Broder, who's down there at Allen Park. No Jahmyr Gibbs, no Brian Branch, no Jonah Jackson. So it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. But it doesn't appear that these guys are going to play. I guess it's way too early to make that determination. It's Wednesday. Today's day one of Tampa.
I'll make it for you. They're not
You'll
playing.
okay.
Yeah, they're not playing.
But that's nothing new. This team plays without half of their starters every week.
Yeah, when I was playing for the New York Jets, we were a good team, and we knew we were going, especially in the second year. 2009, we kind of stumbled into the playoffs, and then we got to the AFC Championship. 2010, we knew we were the real deal. We were on Hard Knocks. We knew we didn't care if guys didn't play, because guys were there in the struggle. Guys were there in training camp. Guys were there in mini camp. Guys were there in OTAs. Guys were there in off-season practices and workouts and things of that nature. So when guys were injured, whether it was Santonio Holmes, who never practiced. I don't know if that was a Ohio State thing, but never practiced. Whether it was Damian Woody, who we knew was in year 13 or 14. Whether it was LaDainian Tomlinson, who we knew was going to be wearing a yellow jacket someday. Or whether it was young guys. If you couldn't practice, that's fine. As long as you could play, we were good. As long as we saw you out there on Sunday, as long as we saw you on that field, whatever you had to do to get ready to play, we were cool with you missing practice. This isn't anything new. You guys are now just being privy to all of that. Guys used to miss practice a lot because the goal, Ryan, is to get out there on Sunday.
We saw Brian Branch on the field working with a trainer, and he was just basically doing stretching exercises. So I'm just saying they're going to take care of this kid.
Yeah.
Don't rush him back. It's an ankle. You don't want this to become something that's going to be hampering him all season. Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring on probably Friday of last week. He ain't ready yet. So they're not going to rush that toy back either.
And I think the big thing too, man, tell me if I'm wrong, is, you talk about Brian Branch. We saw Brian Branch perform on the biggest stage in front of the brightest lights against the best team, and he didn't look like it bothered him. It looked like he had been there before. It's because he went to Alabama. So for somebody like him, I don't mind him missing this week and getting ready to play against a Ravens team that's going to be a much tougher game, because we saw how he played Ryan in prime time against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm okay with him sitting out if he needs to.
Eventually, I have to believe, and maybe this is just the new NFL with all of these injuries kind of piling up, and it's almost reminiscent of a little bit like baseball, I think, where you've got all the. Sometimes they say the pitcher's career doesn't start until after he has Tommy John. In the NFL, it just feels like the days of anybody playing 16, 17 games outside of the quarterback position, it's unheard of, perhaps. Maybe we just have to live in a world where the most amount of games that these players, a majority of players are going to play, is about 14, 15 games.
Yeah.
They're going to have to miss 1, 2, or 3 games a year. And eventually, though, I do think all of these injuries, they have to catch up to you.
They do.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not the Carolina Panthers.
No.
You could get away with without playing with Amon-Ra and Gibbs and Branch and whoever else couldn't play last week. I have to pull up the injury report again.
Right. There's a lot.
You can get away with that against Carolina with a rookie quarterback, a new head coach, a new system, new everything. Tampa Bay is a good football team. Whatever you thought of Tampa Bay coming into the season, that is not who they are right now on the field. They are in first place in their division. You might not like their division, but believe it or not, this is the first time in the history, well, it's been about 21 years since the division's changed. I think it was 2002. This is the first time the Lions and Bucks have played a game where they are first place in each division.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy, considering they used to be in the same division.
Considering they've won the North, which was the Central,
exactly.
more recently than the Lions have.
100%. And that's cool. Ryan, remember when we talk about those type of games? I remember I said about the Green Bay game, I said, Green Bay's not good. They should dominate this game. And you guys said, this is a division game. They should just worry about winning it. And at the end of the day, you guys were right. I think what I saw was there, but what you guys were right. You just want to win a division game. Last week you said, Braylon, this is the dominance game because this is the Panthers. I will agree with you here. And that's absolutely right. The Cardinals aren't good. They're 0-4. They should be destroyed, and they were. Ryan and Maz, I will go back to what you told me 2 weeks ago. This is a game you just win. This is one of those games you just win. This is a game, Ryan, it's on the road. A lot of players beat up. A lot of things happening. A lot of movement and shifting with the offense of the Detroit Lions. Guys rotating in and rotating out. Just go down there and win. Just give me a win. You come back, and now that's 3 wins in a row. You're 5-1, and you're rolling and doing what you want to. This isn't one of those games where I go down, I need it to be perfect. Now, I don't need this to be a special perfect game, even though I don't think the Bucs are that good. This is a game. Go down to Florida. You get yourself a W, you come back, and then we move on. I agree with you this week. This is a just win game.
This is the 3rd straight game they're playing against the South. Take the Packers out. They beat Atlanta. They beat Carolina. Now they get the Bucs. And now you got to wait until, towards the second half of the season to get New Orleans at the Superdome. But the Tampa Bay Bucks are coming in off of a bye, a win and then a bye. So they're rested. They are prepped for this game. It's going to be a hard game to win on the road, but I think the Lions are up to it. We'll see how it goes.
Totally agree with you on that. Both of you guys. I totally agree with that. This is the Lions have won 3 straight games by 14 or more points. That is an incredible thing to do in the NFL. I don't believe they've ever done. They did that in 1997. That's the last time they did. It's been 26 years since they've done that. But I don't think this is one of those games. Tampa Bay, we talk about the turnovers a lot. Tampa Bay, that defense takes the ball away. They're +7 in the turnover margin in the first 5 weeks of the season. Their defense gets takeaways. Their offense behind Baker Mayfield does not give up the ball. They do not turn the football over, and that is something the Lions are going to have to focus on this week as well.
Definitely going to have to focus on it. And I feel like outside of 2 games, the Lions have done a really good job of taking care of the football. Obviously, 2 games, they struggle with that with the Seattle game and then maybe a little bit in the Falcons game. But with that said, they take care of the football. The other side of it, Ryan, you and I talked yesterday off camera, and we were just talking about the Lions win good or win decent, in their tenure in the last 30 years. They've always depended on a player. For the 90s, it was Barry. As Barry went, so did the Detroit Lions. If Barry has 200, it's a good chance the Lions won. Sometimes they trick that off, as you know. But then it was Megatron. As Megatron and Stafford went, the Lions went. The Lions aren't solely dependent on one player now. The way the offense is built up, you have David Montgomery running like a horse. Sam Laporte is finding ways to make plays. Josh Reynolds is getting in the end zone, and everything he catches the first down. Amon-Ra St. Brown is your bell horse, your bell cow over the last 2 years, or your prize horse, whichever one you want to go with. They have backup tight ends. They got Khalif Raymond, who I saw last night. Shout out to him. Jameson is going to figure it out. They got guys. They're not dependent on just one entity, and this was not there. And I think that's what you're seeing with guys being injured, guys being out, but the ship still rolling, still selling on.
You'll hear from Dan Campbell. He was at the podium earlier today. You'll hear some of what he had to say. And Dan Miller coming up at 3 o'clock, which is about 45 minutes from now. If you are not watching live, about 45 minutes from now, we'll talk to Dan Miller. But first, a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key, so why not do it with anybody but Mark White. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason without any penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called their minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to take that crib that you're about to purchase from Mark White and put a Chevy in the driveway. That's right, Feldman, Michigan's Chevy #1 dealer. 18 locations. There's a Feldman dealership in your backyard, and just go to Chevy. Visit FeldmanAuto.com. 1996, Feldman started the automotive advantage. It's called the Feldman Advantage. You might want to take advantage sometime soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Open now till midnight in Romeo. It is Dispo, Michigan's largest cannabis mall. 21 up, you got to be the best brands all around the country, all around the world. But guess what? We do it right here in Michigan. Dispo, they are the local plug. Hazel Park, we appreciate you last week. With 12 locations around the state, pretty much wherever you need to be. Dispo Romeo, Dispo wherever, they're the local plug.
Happy to have you all along with us. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. We've got a new segment we're debuting today in our 3 o'clock hour. It is the Wolverine Wednesdays with our former intern, Alex. Alex is a walking encyclopedia
Yes, he is.
of Michigan football. He was so great
kid
when we had him with us. That we wanted to do a segment every Wednesday with his knowledge of Michigan football, what he sees, and what's happening on campus. So we'll talk to former intern Alex for Wolverine Wednesdays. We'll do that coming up.
We even got him a sponsor.
In about, yes, we did, in about an hour and a half. So looking forward to that. Dan Miller, of course, top of hour number 2. We are continuing to talk about these Detroit Lions now. And Dan Campbell was at the podium today, and I'm going to play this soundbite for you. I found this to be extremely enlightening about this team and its maturity level. The Lions, for the most part, are a young team.
Yeah.
But they are really, really mature, man. And
Well coached.
It's well coached, and they've got veterans in the locker room. And Dan Campbell today not only pointed to the veterans currently on this roster, but the veterans that were here in year 1, in year 2, that really helped set a culture, set a tone for these professional athletes. Here's Dan Campbell from earlier today talking about the maturity level of the Detroit Lions locker room.
When you have a young team like we do that you feel like is handling its business, that means they can have a good time, but when it's time to lock in, they lock in. And so there's an energy about it, but yet there's a focus. And so I just think that, man, when it's time to go, our guys lock in and they go. And when it's time to focus, we go. When we say that we're going full speed, we go full speed. When it's time to back off, it's mental focus, they're there. So I think they understand what it means to to handle their business. And I think that's a credit to a number of guys we've had here, honestly. It's not just this year, but I equate that having Brockers here was a big part of that. I think Jamal Williams is a big part of that, certainly Goff and Decker and Frank. I mean, we've got enough core guys here that understand, Alex, what it's supposed to look like.
One of the interesting things, Ryan and Maz, is how impressed I was when I got to Seattle. Like, when I got to Seattle in 2012, this was a team that was on their way up. They had Earl Thomas in 2000, I want to say 10 or 11. Then they get Rich Sherman in 11 as well. They pick up Bam Bam Cam. They pick up a lot of guys. They drafted a lot of young guys. Bobby Wagner was a draft pick. Neville Shedd, was another good deep. The reason I bring that up is Pete Carroll knew how to turn it off and on, and I thought it was him getting these guys to practice, because when Pete said 100%, guys were going 100%. When it was full speed practice, guys were full speed. Guys were 100%. When Pete would dial it down to 80, I could tell the difference. Like, it would be an 80% practice. When it was 70, it was a 70% practice. But the thing was that didn't change, Ryan. The speed of the practice may have changed, but the efficiency didn't. Guys were flying around, whatever percentage it was, the 50 to 60 to 70, 80. Guys were flying around the practice. Guys knew where to be. Guys were putting in that energy. Guys were focused when they were in between the hashes. And that's what I see a lot of in the Detroit Lions. It seems like these guys are focused when they're between the hashes. It seems like when Dan Campbell, hey, it's 100. These guys don't bat an eye. They go 100 miles per hour. They hit, they do what they must. When he dials it back, when he scales it back, 65. Some teams I've been on, Ryan, you dial it back and the coach says, hey, we're just going shells. We're going light, 65%. Man, they go 65%. They're talking about other things. They lose focus. They're no longer focused on the goal at hand, which is winning games. When the Legion of Boom, and that's what I see in the Detroit Lions. When the Detroit Lions go 65%, it is a 65% with a purpose, and it starts them with belief in the head man, Dan Campbell.
They're able to compartmentalize what's happening on any particular day. As you mentioned, whether it's practice, whether it's winning a game, whether it's losing a game, you go out, you celebrate, you come back the next day, and it's over. It's on to the next week. You go out there, you lose a game, okay, you put it away that night, you come back. Yeah. And for a veteran team, guys that have been through this, that feels like it's an easy thing to do. That's just part of the league. It's part of professionalism. For a guy like Aiden Hutchinson or Jahmyr Gibbs or Brian Branch or Sam Laporta or any of these rookies that are in their first or second year, hell, a guy like Josh Paschal, Jamison Williams, second-year guys have dealt with injuries. They're in the lineup, they're out of the lineup, they're in the lineup, they're out of the lineup. I mean, they're just able, seemingly, to handle this every step of the way, no matter what is thrown at them. That's a level of maturity that we haven't seen around here in a long time, if ever.
I think great too, and Maz, tell me what you think about it. It's great just to be part of a culture. I think, like, when you come into something, sometimes, let's say if you come into New England when they were on that 20-year run, you come into New England, you got to fall in line. Like, you don't know anything else and how to do anything else. You just know Bill Belichick's way. When you come into a losing situation, the guys are already used to losing, so guys don't think much. Practice becomes not important after week 5, week 6. But the Lions have built this up from scratch. Like, these guys, for the most part, Aiden has been here with Dan Campbell since he started it almost. You look at Taylor Decker. So they've cleaned up the identity of the Lions, and all they really know is they remember the first year, 2021, if you will, but 2022, they remember the beginning of the season. But now that they've won, it's going to be a situation where guys are falling in line because all they know is winning now, and they're going to want it to continue to know winning. So they will fall in line, the guys that are coming in, to what the system is in play.
Like I said, very well-coached team. Good character guys that they have on this team. And I think that's where that way they wanted to build it. So we always say, hey, go get this guy, get Ndamukong Suh, blah, blah, blah. They don't want those kind of guys. They want their kind of guys. They want blue-collar guys that mind their business, mind their mouth, go out and do their job, do the extra, play on special teams, block. Look at Jamison Williams last week, how they taught this kid how to go down and block. I don't know. Do you think Nick Saban was talking to Jamison Williams and saying, I need you to block at Alabama? Or was he telling him, hey, just run as fast as you can. We're going to throw the ball to you down the field. He had probably had to relearn that position here.
He never learned how to block. And why would you learn how to block? Like, you don't have to block for Josh Jacobs at Alabama. You don't have to block for Derrick Henry at Alabama, T.J. Yeldon, Nate Scarborough, Eddie Lacy, Mark Ingram. The list goes on. Trent Richardson. I mean, I've just named 6 guys that are up for the Heisman. You don't have to block for those guys, and that's not your job. Your job is, hey, you see that end zone down there?
Yeah.
You just go as far as you can, and we'll let the quarterback hit you in stride.
Right.
Don't look back. So now he's learning how to block, but he's doing it. He's trying.
He is.
You can tell that whatever Antoine Randall, whatever the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, whatever they're trying to instill in him, you can tell he's going home and paying attention. You can tell he's going home and thinking about it. Hey, I know when I got to rip and lids, I got to come in motion. I got to come off the edge. I got to get low and make sure I block legally. I got to take my left arm and get through the inside. And, that's what he's thinking about. So I want to see that continue further. But right now, at least it looks like he's taking that coaching.
You talk about culture too, guys. We talk about Dan Campbell changing the culture in the locker room and in the building in Allen Park. I think he's changed the culture out of the locker room too, just with the fan base. I mean, with the fans alone. We mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned this yesterday or Monday. I don't remember. They all run together at this point. But I watch this team differently now. I expect them to get the stop on 3rd and 2. I expect them to get the 4th down conversion on 4th and 1. I expect them to win the game. I can't even fathom the Lions losing this game. I know it's possible. Yeah. I know it's a possible outcome. I just can't see it. And that is how Dan Campbell has changed the entire culture, not only in the locker room, but out of it. That's an incredible feat to do that and not even win a playoff game yet, or not win a division championship.
Hey, their last loss on the road was last year at Carolina. They're, so far, so good. Now they got back-to-back games. Tampa Bay don't even run the ball well. What's the record now, the Lions? They have the best rush defense since, 1962?
I have those numbers
and
here.
Rachaad White is only rushed for 206 yards. He's their leading rusher. He's averaging just over 3 yards a carry. Guess who their second guy is? Baker Mayfield with 60 yards. So they got a shot to shut them down again. And then you got to worry about Mike Evans, who's not 100%. You just got to keep Baker Mayfield in that pocket, and you're going to win this game.
Bold prediction, they're going to knock Baker Mayfield out the game no later than halfway through the second.
How about that?
That'd be good. We'll get to some of those defensive numbers. Stick with the offense a little bit, too. Coming up, Jared Goff. Where is he ranked when it comes to Pro Football Focus? You'll see that. And what are ESPN's analytical numbers for the Lions' percentage chance to get to the Super Bowl? It's not 0. It's not 0. Let me tell you that. Where it ranks, we'll have it for you coming up. Let me tell you that Woodward Sports has expanded its daily lineup. The Woodward Nights, Booter and Broder, every night, Monday through Friday, here on WSN's YouTube channel. Hottest takes from these two young, up-and-coming sports personalities. They are here 8 to 10. Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Now, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this just for $1 down and $10 a month with no commitment. For more information or to join, visit your local Planet Fitness, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey, gang, when it comes to your pet, we don't settle. We love our pets. That's right. Give your pet the best. That means Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. And they've got 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, the best prices in town, and curbside home delivery if you need it. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Check them out at premierpetsupply.com.
Honestly, number one, I think what they're asking him to do in the scheme really suits him well. You know, they're making a true commitment to the run. There's a lot of boots that are involved, play action pass, and when you're playing good defense too, man, that's right in his wheelhouse. He's very competitive, like he's always been, and he's finding ways to make plays if it's not there. He's able to move in the pocket, eyes downfield, finds a throw. He breaks contain, and then look, when he's not going down now. He's not going taking a knee. He's looking to run somebody over. So he is a competitive sucker, man. So they're doing it right. You know, they're playing it right, and they present a nice challenge.
And that was Dan Campbell from earlier this afternoon talking about Baker Mayfield. Why and how is Tampa Bay having this amount of success? And you know, it is interesting, and you got to give the coaching staff and Baker Mayfield, of course, credit. I think you got to give Baker credit. You got to give the coaching staff credit. When you're a coach and you protect the quarterback, when you make a scheme and a game plan to put the quarterback in a good position to succeed, it's incredible how that happens.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, I'm going to let Dan Campbell give the credit because he has to. I don't have to, so I won't. Baker Mayfield played against the Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints, and then the Philly. When he played against Philly, a real team, 146, 73% QBR, and he threw an interception. So don't let us go down there thinking Baker Mayfield is some kind of hero that we got to be leery of. I'm happy he's doing well, but this is a team, and this is a quarterback. They're going to bust Baker Mayfield up. Hasn't had to play in a situation like playing against the Lions defensive line.
They kind of owe him a little revenge, too. If you remember, when he went to the Rams, he shipped over and he had, 3 hours to learn the playbook on the air. He goes and he beats the Raiders on that Thursday night, which really hurt the Lions' chances. And then he goes and loses to the Seattle Seahawks, underthrows. I forgot who was open. Yeah. Lockett or someone was open for a touchdown. Underthrew it. Rams, of course, go down. Seattle goes down and wins it with a late field goal to knock them out of the playoffs. So Baker screwed him twice last year. So, Bray, I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away from what Baker is. I just got to keep things in perspective because Dan's doing a wonderful job. He has to go to the podium. He has to say all the right things, and he is 3-1. Baker Mayfield is nothing for the Detroit Lions defense to worry about. And this happy little trail that he's on, it will end this Sunday.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we think that too. I think that too. But they can only play who they played.
And I'm just telling you who they played.
Right. But either way, they're a first place team, and I think they've been. I give a nod to the coaching because if it was easy to win games in the National Football League, everybody would be winning.
And that's why I didn't say anything about the coaching staff. I specifically talked about Baker Mayfield.
Well, he sucks. He's no good, and he won't do anything against the Lions. Is that better?
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You know who doesn't suck?
Who doesn't?
Jared Goff.
This is true.
This is from Pro Football Focus. And again, this is the highest graded quarterbacks this year up through this point, and look who number one is. Jared Goff tops this list. Now, I don't know what goes into grades and how they come out with these mathematical equations for grades, but he's got the highest grade of any quarterback in the league this year. I'll take it.
Yeah, what goes into that is the efficiency. It goes into that is how are you touchdown to interception ratio? How are you on deep down the field passes? What is your percentage rate? How are you on missed throws? Like how many actual throws do you have that were misses that were your fault? And when you break all those things down, Jared Goff is at one. I don't care how you want to break it down and say, well, he's number one because of this or he's number one because of that. He's number one.
Listen, man, look at the company he's in.
I was just about to say he's number one on that list. And what does everybody on that list have in common, man?
Playoffs.
Their teams are going to the playoffs. Their teams are going to the playoffs. Say what you want to about Jared Goff. When you give him what he needs, he gives you what you want.
This year, he's playing with that extra confidence. You can just see it. You know, Bray, when you're playing with a quarterback well, you don't know, unfortunately, because you never really played with any great quarterbacks.
Shots fired.
Sorry.
It's true. You're telling the truth.
You do know, right?
Yeah.
When a guy is in control. This guy's in control this year. Big time.
Yeah, he's definitely in control. You know, Michael Harris, I think you made a great point to Michael Harris when we talked to him 2 weeks ago, is that if you look at the interceptions that Jared Goff has had this year, what's followed the interceptions from Jared Goff? A touchdown.
Yeah.
3 times.
All 3 times he's thrown an interception. The very next drive, you know what he did?
Yeah.
Throw that out of here. Let's get back to business.
Talk about that maturity.
It's a short-term memory. You got to have a short memory. You got to have a great short-term memory when you're playing in a sport. Any sport, especially the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Throw a touchdown, you know what? Next play. Throw an interception, you know what? Next play. Doesn't matter.
Can I just tell you how good this guy's been?
Yeah.
Please.
So, obviously, he's one of the best in the league this year. I don't think you can question that. And he's been one of the best for a long time, believe it or not.
It was 22 games.
Just this year alone, okay? He don't dink and dunk the ball. He's throwing it down the field. Nearly 8 yards per attempt. That ranks 4th in the NFL, only behind Tua, Brock Purdy, and Josh Allen. Pretty good company to be in. You talk about since 2017, Jared Goff is only behind Tom Brady and Kirk Cousins when it comes to most passing yards thrown since 2017. Brady and Cousins. Most completions since 2017. Brady, Cousins, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff. You want more? Most passing touchdowns, which might be the great equalizer in any statistic. You ready for this? Most passing touchdowns since 2017. Mahomes, Brady,
Herbert,
Cousins, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only Hall of Famer not on that list is Kirk Cousins, and maybe he will, numbers-wise, I don't know. Look, hey. Look, I don't like, you know me and
if
Kirk
Phil
Cousins.
Rivers can't get in, Kirk Cousins ain't getting in.
Hey, listen. You know me. I'm not a Kirk Cousins guy, but I'm just saying numerically on some of these lists, he might be in the conversation later.
You got to have more than one playoff win to get into the
fine. I don't even want. I'm not fighting that fight.
Okay.
What I'm saying is
He ain't getting it.
Thank you.
okay. Everybody else on that list is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So pretty incredible list to be a part of. He's playing great football. He has played great football.
That's sneaky good.
It's very sneaky good, but it's very logistical on the part of Brad Holmes and Ben Johnson. And I'm not trying to discredit them. I'm actually giving them more credit. Jared Goff was one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he had Todd Gurley. When he had Todd Gurley, he could run the ball. He was the best play-action quarterback in the league the whole time he had Todd Gurley, and now he's back to the best play-action quarterback in the league. Now he has a running game. He had so much success. He operated at an elite level. We go back to the Monday night game against he and Patrick Mahomes that was in L.A. that was supposed to be in Mexico, and how he beat Mahomes and how great he played. It ain't hard. The man can play, especially when you give him a running game, and that's what Ben Johnson has done. They said, look, we know the guy can get the ball down the field. It's just about a matter of setting that play up for him. And they set it up with consistent running. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs when he's in there. That offensive line, even last year, how they played, how they blocked. It's a simple mathematic formula, and he's having more and more confidence. He's starting to become a better version of that Jared Goff ever could be.
Right. I didn't hear Matthew Stafford in any of those.
Nope.
Was he on any of those lists?
Not in any of those lists.
And that was my guy. I would have guaranteed that Matthew Stafford might have had more yards and touchdowns than Jared Goff.
Since 2017.
Yeah, and I would have crapped out.
Did he get hurt in 17 and 18?
I don't remember.
He still plays through his injuries. But yeah,
it's true.
Maybe that's where he lost some ground.
He was out all last year for the most part.
He did win a Super Bowl.
I was lobbying for him.
Just as a point about that. Guys, start your game day with us. Woodward and Maine, the Lions Insider Show, Tuesdays and Sundays. And, of course, this week, Lions and Bucks start their game at 4:25. And the Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and the legend Terry Foster. 8 to 9 on Sunday morning. They will start your day here on Woodward Sports YouTube channel. How about the ESPN analytics? Did you see this?
I love this.
The Lions have the third best chance to get to the Super Bowl. Third best chance.
Is that in the NFC?
That's in the NFC. 49ers at 55%, then a huge drop-off at the Eagles at 16%, 9% the Detroit Lions, and the Seahawks at 3%.
This is analytics because the Eagles are just as good record-wise as the Niners. So, really, what is separating them so much?
Home field advantage, schedule, strength of schedule, team, all of it.
And that's what I'm glad you bring up. We talked yesterday, we talked about schedules. We talked about, and then today I talked about wanting to dream more. You as well have talked about that. You look at the 49ers, they're dominant. They're the best team in the NFL right now. It's clear to see it's them versus everybody else. But the schedule does change, Ryan and Ermanni, coming up for those same 49ers. They got to play a Browns defense that is a strong defense and will beat them up. Then they got to play a Bengals team that, have they found it? Have they not found it? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Then they got to play a Jaguars team. You may not like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to keep them in that ball game and find out a way to win. Then they play the Seahawks. Then they play the Eagles. Then they play the Seahawks again. They got a 3-game stretch. They play Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks again. And then they play the Rams and Commanders. And then they play the Ravens at the end. Who's to say the Lions won't be the number 1 seed? Who's to say that, yeah, it looks good now. Who's to say the 49ers win their schedule, don't have a couple injuries just like the Lions have done? Who's to say that the Lions, who have the 31st easiest schedule, as you showed me yesterday, finishing the NFC, who's to say the Lions shouldn't be number 1 percentage?
Well, and that's really the point about it, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about number one seed, everything has to go into that. And that includes the schedules of the teams in front of you. And that doesn't mean
a tough schedule.
It doesn't mean that, the 49ers are worse than the Lions if the Lions finish above them. That just means that the Lions maybe have had a little bit easier road than San Francisco or Philadelphia or something like that.
And you know what? You can't put that on you can't interview after the game and say, well, we lost in the playoffs because they had a little bit easier road than us and we were a little bit more beat up. That ain't something you can tell the press.
The old mailman on the YouTube chat donated $5 to say, I don't understand these weird people in the chat still crying about paying Goff. You have to pay to play, and throwing in a rookie is a horrible idea. Now, it's funny you mentioned that because, and maybe we don't have to get into this now, but
it's coming.
Colin Cowherd addressed this very thing today, and it was a really interesting take, I thought. I want to share it with you and see what you're thinking.
Okay.
The NFC is in a position this season where the AFC was 5 years ago. There was nobody in the AFC outside of Brady and Roethlisberger, okay? So then the Kansas City Chiefs, they draft Patrick Mahomes. Can Alex Smith compete with Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa? So now
the answer was no.
The answer was no. So that's why you get rid of this patience thing and you go there. Now in the NFC, you're going to have J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Who knows? Maybe Shedeur Sanders if he comes out. So you're going to have all of these quarterbacks now go to the NFC. Is Jared Goff going to be able to compete with that level of quarterback? That's not me asking that.
Right.
I'm just saying that's what every organization is going to have to ask. Is that quarterback that you have able to keep up with these young guns? Because the NFC group this year is going to be like that: Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa.
You know what's the best thing about that? Because I saw that piece too, Ryan. The teams that you name or the players that you name, you forgot the best part about it. Alex Smith was winning with the Kansas City Chiefs, going to conference finals or getting to the semis. They moved off of him and he was winning. Tyrod Taylor took Buffalo to the playoffs and they paid him $100 million. They moved off of him too. And then Justin Herbert, they still had Phillip Rivers and they had Geno Smith. And they moved off both of them for Justin Herbert. It wasn't just about like moving on. They had guys that could win and they were like, we've seen enough. You can't get it done.
And you know who didn't decide to draft a quarterback?
Belichick.
Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. Trevor.
Pittsburgh didn't draft a quarterback, and look at them now.
Oh,
They
and
did draft a quarterback.
Now they did, but it wasn't. It's too good. That kid can't compete.
They drafted one. It was Mason Rudolph. Ben Roethlisberger didn't like it, and then they didn't draft another for another 3 years.
I was talking about Pickett, later on.
But that was when his last year.
Right.
He was out.
That kid can't compete.
It's like Aaron Rodgers. Like they drafted one quarterback and
Jordan Love
pissed Aaron Rodgers off. He eventually leaves. Now they're stuck with Aaron Rodgers because they were stuck with Jordan Love.
Right, you might eat your words on that.
On Jordan Love?
On Pickett?
No, on Pickett.
All right, well, maybe. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I don't see it with Trevor Lawrence, but I really don't see it with Kenny Pickett. Cap or no cap next. But first, a message.
He's got weapons, too.
And yes.
And he's got weapons.
First, a message from Hamlin Pub.
Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. You can either get half off pizza on Thursday or game day specials available during all Michigan and NFL sports. Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? You can do just that with Cintron. Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. You can drink it, live it, purchase a 24-pack today, and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. You can look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. You can go register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas for the $100,000 Vegas getaway.
All right, Braylon Edwards, let's get to it. We do it every Wednesday. It is the segment we call Cap or No Cap.
And you know what, Ryan and Ermanni, I'm going to turn my cap or no cap duties over this week to my man Parker because
passing the buck.
I'm passing the buck this week. Parker's been doing the job, so you know what? I'm gonna let Parker run the show. All right, I'm gonna let you run the show. I'll still wear the cap.
I appreciate it.
Cap or no cap?
So first off, we're going to start off with the Detroit Lions. You just can't. We're Woodward Sports. You can't not do anything but the Detroit Lions. So the first one is, cap or no cap, the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, that's no cap. It's no cap at all. They're absolutely Super Bowl contenders.
I'll go second. I totally agree with Ryan. For sure, they are Super Bowl contenders, at least through week 5. Hopefully they get healthy as the year goes on. They're for real. They can win it all. No cap.
This is no cap, agreed. Brock Purdy in his history as a starting quarterback has only trailed for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Let that sink in. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Who's to say the Detroit Lions shouldn't be front runners for the Super Bowl? This is no cap.
No cap.
All right, it's sweet.
Caps.
No
Three
cap.
That's a sweet.
No cap.
Oh, no cap. Come on now.
No cap.
You already
have
know.
to ask JB.
No cap.
Yeah.
What are you asking him for?
Unanimous.
You know what he's saying.
I feel naked without JB here, by the way.
But the next one is the
Thank God you're
49ers
back,
have
JB.
officially found their franchise quarterback long-term in Brock Purdy.
I'll go first.
Ooh.
That's cap. That's cap. But hear me out. I just told you that Brock Purdy has helped Kyle Shanahan evolve that offense, and I stand by what I said. But when you're not the best, when you're not top 10 player on your own team, you can't be the franchise quarterback. And right now, I don't even think Brock Purdy is a top 10 player on his team. Maybe 8 if we wanted to get into the details. But until he shows me playing from behind adversity, until I think they believe in him, this is cap. They have not found their, because he's gonna have to pay him at some point.
It's no cap. The guy has done things that we have never seen in this league before. 10-0 is 10-0, and I'm not sure what it's gonna take to prove otherwise. I mean, he has 0 losses in the regular season.
And he also has 2 minutes and 30 seconds of playing from behind. That is a telltale sign.
It's not his fault.
It's not about being his fault, but at the end of the day, I'm assessing my beliefs on what I think he's a franchise quarterback. If you know that about Brock Purdy and you're the 49ers, are you going to pay this man? Because by the time he comes up, deals are going to be in the $300 million. Are you going to pay him $300 million when you know it's Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hargrave, Nick Bosa, Greenlaw, Fred Warner, George Kittle? $300 million?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's his second year in the league. If he was a first-round pick and not the last pick of the draft,
yeah,
we'd say yes, he's a franchise quarterback.
Okay, come to me.
Maz.
Definitely no cap. This kid has got it. This kid is the rebirth of Tom Brady, and I mean that by where he was picked in the draft. They found a gold nugget. They saved their hides by finding this kid for what they did to get Trey Lance. 3 number 1s to get Trey Lance. This guy, I think it was, as a matter of fact, I heard it on Monday night. It was Brian Greasy that turned around and said, you know what, I did this kid's games. I really like him. I think we should take a chance on him. That's why they picked him.
It's unbelievable.
Brian Greasy said, I've done this kid's games. I see something in him. Let's take him. I've heard, take the 3 off, put a 6 there. People are calling him the next Joe Montana in San Francisco. Smarter people than me are saying it. I'm saying I'm riding with Brock Purdy.
I'm not trying to hear that. I grew up a 49ers fan. This is me coming at you, man. I grew up a 49ers fan. Please do not be talking about that's Joe Cool out there. Joe Cool.
It wasn't me who said it.
And that's why I said I wasn't talking to you, man. That's why I said I wasn't talking to you. I remember Joe Cool in 1979 before he got Jerry Rice and John Taylor and all that. He was just as good. He was just as good with just Dallas Clark. So I say cap.
There you go.
Next question, cap or no cap?
By the way,
Mike
great question
McDaniels will win Coach of the Year.
Ooh, it's cap.
Who you got over him?
Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's going to win Coach of the Year because they're going to be 13-4 or 14-3.
Dan Campbell's going to win Coach of the Year because they love the Detroit Lions too. Like that's a part of it. It's the America's team. You said it, man. Or they're not America's team. They're America's darlings. Well, they're America's sweetheart. I agree with you. I think Dan Campbell will win.
There's 3 options for the Detroit Lions this year. 3 options, okay? It's 12-5, 13-4, or 14-3. Those are the only 3 options for this team this year.
You're not going with the Vegas? Over 9.5 wins, either 9 or 10?
No, it's 12, 13, or 14. The minimum for the Detroit Lions, the low floor is 12 wins. More likely, 13 wins. And then, a stroke of luck, 14-3. They can lose 2 more games. Even if they lose to Baltimore and the Chargers on the road, find me 2 other losses.
Well, you still got Dallas, and you got to go to Minnesota. And Minnesota, 2 games. You don't know. You don't really know yet. But I like where you're going. I do like where you're going.
I think Jared Goff, outside of the Chargers game, will be the best quarterback on the field every game he plays the rest of the season.
It's a good call. Good call.
And I'll always take the guy.
Well, Justin Herbert's going to be a challenge.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Except the Chargers game.
Exactly. Good call. Excellent call. I'll say no cap on this one, and I'll tell you why. This guy is like the boy genius, and people love offense. This team is breaking the records on all offensive records right now. They are going to be down some players right now. Devon Archain is going to be out at least 4 weeks to get a bye. You won't see him until 6 weeks from now. And he has been he's been the straw that stirs the drink in that backfield. Now, Raheem Mostert's been terrific too. He'll have to step up. This guy, he's something about him. I think they would, if both bets are coming down, both horses are coming down the stretch, the Dolphins and the Lions, both are having great seasons. I think they'll give the award to the Miami guy.
Can I throw something out there? Can I say can I say no cap and cap at the same time?
No.
And the reason why I asked
or no cap.
Well, hear me out. The reason why it actually is very detailed. The reason why I asked the question is, what if both win? And the reason why both could win, it could be a coach situation. I don't know if it's ever done. I don't have to go to our resident historian on sports, Tom Mazaway. But they're two different people, and they both represent, like, America right now. You got, like, the little quirky, analytical, like, you know, like the laptop genius that's over here. That's like the new wave of society. And, like, Dan Campbell's, he's like the old wave, man. He's like, roll your sleeves up and fight it, fight it out. I think he represents both sides of the football fan base.
I would drink some beer tonight.
I'm telling you. I can see them both winning. You want more people like Mike McDaniel to get into the sport, and you want to keep the people like Dan Campbell. They both win.
That's it.
They both win.
They're both great stories.
Yeah. And very different, too.
Yep.
Very different. It's like going to
I think it'll be them. I think they'll be 1-2.
Yeah.
I do.
I like it.
Let's bring it back to Detroit with the Detroit Pistons.
Ooh.
The Pistons will win more than 30 games this year.
Cap. I was looking today. We could do this. We could do this tomorrow and explore this a little bit more much. The top 50 players this year on ESPN.com. You know how many members of the top 50 that the Pistons have?
Take out the Detroit Pistons words and it's the logo.
0. They've got 0 top 50 players in the league this year. And until you get at least one guy on that list, and I'm not saying Cade Cunningham can't turn into that, or Jalen Duren, or Jaden Ivey, or whoever, but man, you can't win like that. You ain't winning like that. You need players in the NBA, and the Pistons, it's a man's league, and they don't have any men yet.
They might have 3 of the top 100, though.
I will say this.
Right.
Get my dude right. I say it's no cap. I think the Detroit Pistons, shout out to my boy George David. I think the Detroit Pistons will be very fun. They'll be a very exciting team. I don't think they're gonna win 40 games. I don't think they make the playoffs. But I think they claw and they scratch. You get 31 wins. I think Cade Cunningham, what they were talking about him in summer, I don't think it was a farce. I think he was really that good, and I think he really has grown. So I'm going to look for Cade to get them to 31 wins.
I sure hope to hell I'm wrong on that because I love the Pistons, and I'm a huge Pistons fan. It soured me a lot. I'm like, oh, man, another season of 28. You know, another season of 25, 26, 27 wins. Can't take it.
They are holding the record right now for the most years without going to the postseason. They've got it. The Twins had it.
Sacramento,
now the Pistons have it. Yep, the Kings
Sacramento
are off the list.
Yep.
Now the Twins are off the list. The Pistons are next up. I'm going to say they can win 30 games. No cap.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the voice of the Lions, Fox 2 Sports Director Dan Miller. But first, a message from
Glorious.
Yeah, you guessed it. Honolulu Blue with the Bubble Kush. It is the best. It is from Glorious Cannabis. Glorious Cannabis, that is CANNA.com. The strand is smooth. It is beautiful. It is a flower, but it also has hash in there. You got to be careful with it. Got to take it slow. Take it slow. Slow is better. Anywhere dispensary near you, Dispo we prefer. But hey, wherever you want to go to consume your cannabis, make sure you're picking up a GloriousCannabis.com.
Glorious. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey, gang, let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, salters. They got it all. Outdoor Equipment Co. has everything. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for doing so. Coming up on 55,000 subscribers on this platform. Incredible growth here at the network. We really appreciate all of you that have hit the subscribe button and the like button. Hit the like button. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people, and we appreciate that. Joined now by the voice of the Detroit Lions, one of our favorite weekly guests that we have, the great Dan Miller. How you doing, Dan?
What do you say, guys? How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great, Dan. Talk to me about this one. They head to Tampa for the first time in the history of the matchup. It's going to be a first-place Lions team and a first-place Bucs team. One of the things that Dan Campbell was saying today was that this team, while young, has been so mature to handle their business. How do you think that came to be, where these young guys are just, so mature to compartmentalize everything and do whatever's in front of them?
I think it started last year. I really do. I think it was, rebounding from that 1-6 start and figuring out what it was to win towards the end of the year and going 8-2 at the end of last season, coming back this year, winning at Arrowhead, bouncing back from a loss to Seattle, 2-0 Atlanta team, finding a way to beat them, and then just, really going from there, and then to win at Lambeau as well. It starts to build confidence in young guys. You got a lot of really young guys that still don't know what it is probably to totally win in this league and to play in this league, and they're figuring out. But when you put a win at Lambeau and another win at Lambeau and a win at Arrowhead in their back pocket, they start to believe in what they're doing, believe in the guy next to them, believe in what the coaches are selling them. And I think that's the maturity that they're referring to. And I would also add this. A couple guys remarked about the win over Carolina and that being a sign of maturity, and I do think there's something to that. Look, they were the better team. They're just in a different place than Carolina is right now. And they went out and played that way. There wasn't any messing around. There wasn't any making Carolina think this was going to be their day. And while it doesn't happen all the time, ultimately that's what good teams do, and that's what they did in this one.
We talk about Dan Campbell changing the culture, and the whole organization obviously changing the culture inside the building. Dan, what about the fact that Dan Campbell's totally changed the culture outside of the building too? I mean, with the fan base, you expect them to go in there and beat Carolina like that. We all expect them to go to Tampa Bay and win the football game. You expect them to convert on 3rd and 12. You expect them to stop their opponent on 3rd and 2. We expect these things now. That too is a culture shift.
I think it is. I think these fans have always had hope, even if sometimes it wasn't there in reality. But I think they were also just waiting for something real that they could believe in that wasn't going to, kick them when they turned the other way. And I think finally, through trial and error and building a team and building a depth chart and putting these things together, I think that fans look at this and they believe that this is real and they can put their faith in this. And the fact that you believe that you can go in and win these games is because you've been doing that. The fact that you believe that you can stop teams is because you've been doing that, and that you can convert third downs, as you said, is because you've been doing that. So, look, I think the love for this team, even if it was love-hate sometimes, love-anger sometimes, love-hurt sometimes, I think it was always there. But I think now there is a reality-based thing there that folks look at this team and actually can believe that it's not built on a house of cards. You don't have to say, well, if this happens, and if this happens, and if this happens, they can win a game. It's no. If they go in and play the way they're capable of playing, they can win a game, and that's a different feeling.
Talking to Dan Miller, voice of the Lions on the radio, and of course Fox 2 sports director. You talk about that depth, Dan. This year alone, 5 games, the Lions have missed due to injury Emmanuel Mosley, Josh Paschal, Taylor Decker, Kirby Joseph, David Montgomery, Hal Vaitai, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Houston, and Jameson Williams due to suspension. If that's not organizational depth, I'm not sure what is.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's, again, go back to the fact that this team, let's start with the fact that they're built around their offensive line and their depth there, so they can continue to do the things they want to do when those guys, when you have Penei Sewell in there and you have Ragnow in there and you have Jonah Jackson in there, and if Taylor Decker misses a game or whatever, they can move things around a little bit. It's not optimal, but that's where I think they gain their confidence from. That's the heartbeat of the team, and if they can run the ball, they feel good about it. And then Goff, I think, has bought into and believes in this ensemble that they have on offense where, yeah, Amon-Ra is your guy, but if Amon-Ra isn't available, Laporta can roll. Josh Reynolds is having a great season. There's other guys that can catch the ball on this team, as you witnessed last week when they had, list this long of guys that caught passes. So I just think there's doing it. That comes through being challenged and answering the challenge when you have injuries, and I think that's what they've been able to do. And then defensively, look, this team's been beat up at corner, it seems, every time we turn around in every season, but now they've got guys that they can plug in and feel good about. But it's also the fact that front, with a lot of young guys, is starting to figure it out and getting pressure on quarterbacks and forcing quarterbacks to be uncomfortable and make plays, and that just makes everybody behind them better. So it's a long way of saying it's about drafting players, it's about developing players, and it's about those guys going out there and doing their job. And once they do that, and you see them do that, you believe they can do that, then you're trusting the guy next to you, and that's ultimately what you have to have when you go out there on a Sunday.
No doubt, and I didn't even mention C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who also should be on that list as well. Dan, at what point do all those injuries catch up to you, though?
Well, you don't want to sustain too many more. And, I mean, the nice thing is, for the most part, outside of C.J., they never really had Mosley, and that's unfortunate. But, in some ways, you can't lose what you never had. It's heart breaks for him just to come back, play 2 plays, and tear your other knee is just unthinkable. But, look, I think not many teams have a Tracy Walker behind a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a former team captain and a veteran, and they had that. But the deeper you go, the more difficult it gets. And I think also, let's be fair, there's certain guys this team can't afford to lose. You wouldn't want to lose Aiden Hutchinson. You wouldn't want to lose Jared Goff. You don't want to go too much deeper on that offensive line in terms of injuries and losing guys. Losing a Ragnow in the middle or Penei for any extended period of time would be, very difficult for this team. And that's no different than others around the league. There's certain guys that are just more difficult to overcome. So, look, when does it become a problem? Well, it's hard to say because as maybe more guys get hurt, you're getting some other guys back. But there does come a point where any team is stressed because of injuries.
Dan, you and Ryan, if you guys want to keep this back and forth conversation going, you guys can just do that at Fox 2.
A lot of questions.
You can just do it at Fox 2.
A lot of questions.
You can do it at Fox 2. Okay.
Questions.
Okay. Now I'm just messing. What's going on, Dan? Hey, through just over the the quarter mark of this NFL season, Lions sitting at 4-1. I think they're right there with the Eagles. Got to still put the Eagles above them because they did go to the Super Bowl. They are 4-0, but just barely. But looking ahead of the Eagles, we believe the 49ers are that team right now. I think we can be in agreement that 49ers are a team in the NFC. But how far are the Detroit Lions behind the San Francisco 49ers right now? When you look at the Lions, you look at the 49ers, where do you put them? How did you rank them against each other?
Well, I think some of that depends on what the health of those teams is going forward. I think what Ryan said plays a role into it. We don't know how these teams will ultimately look here in a month or 2 months or 3 months. I think San Francisco's defense is just what makes them a little bit different right now compared to some other teams. They are so good, so violent, and such a well-oiled machine. And then offensively, I'll tell you what, I watched that last game, and And I thought in the back of my mind, okay, maybe Purdy's a system guy. Maybe this is the weak link. That dude was fitting some passes in there that were really, really impressive. He's playing with a ton of confidence right now to the point where, man, you better forget where he was drafted and just look at what he's doing. And that was kind of my takeaway from that game. So I just think right now they're so complete. McCaffrey is just, tremendous and so elusive, so can do so many different things on the field. I do think right now you have to look at them. But I will say this. The one thing about the Lions defense that's intriguing to me, and I was looking at this today, is look at how many guys on this defense, which is really in truth just beginning to figure this thing out. Yeah. They're just, second half of last year, early this year, turning up that run defense. They're just now turning up that pass defense, turning up the pass rush. Look how many guys, on that defense are in their third year or younger.
Yeah.
And they're just now starting to figure things out. Their run defense, which has been so good to this point, it's the same guys that it was last year. It's just young guys getting better. And I think that's intriguing to me because what's the ceiling for these guys? What's the ceiling for Aleem McNeil or Aiden Hutchinson or these other guys that are contributing right now and a part of what's going right? I just think there's a lot of upside left for this team potentially, which could make them kind of dangerous as you go forward.
Dan, I agree, and this isn't a question for you. This is more of a statement or kind of like a analogy, if you will, a comparison. They remind me of that, and I even hate to say this out loud because I hate that team. They remind me of the 2014 Ohio State team. They remind me in the sense that Alabama was this juggernaut of a team, and Alabama had never hit somebody in the mouth, and that person hit them in the mouth back. I think that's what the Lions are going to be for the 49ers. The 49ers aren't used to anybody hitting them back. Look at Dallas. Dallas didn't even want to be on the same field as the 49ers. They haven't faced a team, and I think the Lions will be that team to, oh, you hit us, we'll hit you back. And then it'll cause the great 49ers, oh, SHIT, we're in a game now. I think that's what the Lions are going to provide against the 49ers, just to be able to take the punch and throw it back.
Yeah, and I don't think they back down to anybody. I think that's one thing Dan Campbell has instilled in them is they're not afraid of a challenge. They weren't afraid to go into Kansas City. They haven't been afraid to go into Lambeau, whether it was Rodgers last January or a younger, different-looking team with Jordan Love this year. So, again, that comes from confidence. And that comes from believing in what your coaches are selling you, and believing in what your coaches are selling you comes from success. So, yeah, I'd love to see that matchup. I'd probably like to see it maybe a little bit down the road because I think this team's going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see where they are in December, given some health here and not being wrecked by injuries. But to your point, while I think I agree with you. You put San Francisco and you put Philadelphia ahead of these teams right now.
Yeah.
I think the Lions would be happy to roll the football out there and see what happens if they ultimately got a chance to play them.
Agreed.
Hey, Dan, we spoke to Janoris Jenkins yesterday. He's waiting around. He's going to get a call from an NFL team here. He's in Arizona. He's staying in shape. Big name guy, former All-Pro. He's in the record books a few times. They signed Anthony Everett yesterday from the Ravens. They put him on the practice squad. You got Chase Lucas moving up. Are we ever going to see a player like that being brought in as a free agent here, or are they just going to stick with trying to pick a diamond in the rough, a young guy that they don't have to really pay?
Oh, you're talking about in season? I mean, obviously off season they did.
I'm talking now.
Free agency. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes there's a reason a guy's sitting out there. Sometimes there's a reason a guy isn't on a team. And I know that, it seems like the one thing that people do is fall in love with guys that either get cut by a team or are sitting out there. And sometimes I think there's a reason to look a little deeper as to why. I think the bigger question, Tom, would be, would they be buyers here as you head towards the trade deadline? Mm-hmm. Is there something that makes sense for Brad Holmes to look at, whether it's a receiver, cornerback, secondary help, whatever it is, whatever he thinks could help his team, another offensive lineman for some depth, whatever it is, would they be buyers? And I think the answer to that could be yes. I think if a team is looking to get rid of somebody and they feel like it makes sense for them, that wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that, because I think you've now put yourself in a position where you weren't last year and you weren't certainly the year before, where one move could be the difference between being able to either A, if it's a reserve, handle another injury, or B, lift you from where you are right now to what Braylon was talking about, to moving ahead of or equal to some of these other teams. So I think more so than guys that are sitting on corners right now waiting for a call, I think it's about seeing what other teams might start offloading some guys and find out whether or not that makes sense for you. As far as, look, if you run a guy through and a guy's out there and he doesn't have a team right now, and you love the way his workout looks, then I don't think they'd be against something like that. It just has to make sense.
We bring up Janoris because the Niners called on him last year in the playoffs to take over for Emmanuel Mosley. So I'm just thinking, why not? Maybe lightning strikes twice for the guy. That's all.
Yeah, and I did not look at that tape. I have no idea if he looked like the same guy, or I kind of doubt he did, just because, age gets the best of everybody at some point. And again,
except Tom Brady. Except Tom Brady.
Well, at some point it did, right?
Right, I'm just playing. Dan, thanks, my man. Now, do you have a favorite steakhouse in Tampa that you go to? Or, I mean, that's a good trip. Tampa
City.
I got a client dinner on Saturday night with some sponsors, so wherever they tell me to go is where I'm going, but I'll order something nice, I guarantee.
Hey, they're buying, no doubt about it.
Nice Italian steakhouse, like, I can't remember, like off the beaten path, Ives Dairy or something.
Braylon's got a book of places to go, always.
I'm sure he does. We'll check.
You may want to stay away from those places.
Right. We'll keep
still
Dan
Hooters
away.
there.
We'll keep Dan away from those. Thanks, Dan. We appreciate it, bud. And again, you can watch us every day on the Fox Local app, and of course, Fox2Detroit.com. Great partnership here, Woodward Sports and Fox 2. So we thank Dan for that. I got to let you know to watch the pregame show this week and every week on Sunday ahead of Lions game day. Jeff Iafrady and the team here at Woodward Sports, Sundays at 9:30 to 11:30 with the Lions pregame show. Woodward Sports Network on YouTube, Lions pregame show. Now, a message from Swiss.
Oh, that is
That
me.
is you, JB. Wake up, buddy.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. Do you have football on the brain like us? Of course you do. Well, fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment. No, wait, not Outdoor Equipment Company. It's all good. Well, go to Outdoor Equipment Company. My list is wrong here. Or not wrong. I've just followed it wrong. Terrible. I'm sorry. Woodward Sports Network. And we're back. That's right. Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday. Hey, one of the things about the Detroit Lions, everybody loves the Lions, man. We just had Dan Miller on. It's great to talk to him about, a good football team and a good organization. Stephen A. Smith on his show put the Lions in his top 5
How about
as well.
that?
How about that? I mean, how do you not, though,
He hates
right?
those Cowboys, though.
What
Boy, does he get a laugh. When
so
they
funny.
lose, he is He is hilarious when they lose.
That has to go back to Skip Bayless.
Absolutely.
And Stephen A. because they both put videos out.
Yeah.
Stephen A. laughing his butt off and Skip Bayless throwing his Cowboys jersey away in the trash, throwing the Dak jersey away, but keeping the Micah Parsons jersey.
Dak is taking some heat, man.
Well, he's just no good.
Well,
I mean, he's like a front runner. And Braylon said this. I don't know where he got this from, but when Dak has the lead, it's one way. When Dak doesn't have the lead, it's a complete – you're not winning the game if you get behind. For Stephen A. Smith, though, just put this list back up if you could, Parker. Pretty damn good list to be a part of. I'm interested as to why – well, I guess if you just basically go on record, that's fine. But I think the Chiefs are playing as good a football as anybody right now anyway. I would put the Chiefs at 2.
Not without Kelsey, though.
Not without Kelsey. And
he's hurting.
Is he going to play on Thursday?
He's hurting. I doubt it.
It could be my upset special. But Lions ahead of the Dolphins. How about that? And I think that's because of the toughness up front.
You do not think that the Chiefs are losing on Thursday, do you?
I think it could be an upset special.
Really?
Without Kelsey.
Who are they playing?
The Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Whatever you want to jump in.
At Kansas City.
At Kansas City.
You think they'll lose to the Lions and the Broncos at home?
If Travis Kelsey doesn't play
on Thursday night,
I don't think it's a lock.
Okay.
I think Denver covers. I think Denver at least covers the game.
They might cover. It's only 10.5, which is low. That's low.
I'm not paying attention to that foolishness. 49ers won. 49ers won.
What foolishness?
No, you guys. No. Don't bring me into the. You guys are disagreeing. I'm out of it. No. You guys had your disagreement. He thinks that the Broncos are a joke. You think that the Kansas City Chiefs will win without Kelsey. I'm staying out of it. I'm going to address Stephen A. Smith and the A-list. 49ers 1, Eagles 2, Chiefs 3, Lions 4, Dolphins 5. Yeah, I mean, the only other way you really could do this list would be able to put Seattle 4, Lions 5, Dolphins 6. But other than that, I think the list is fine.
Lions ahead of the Dolphins. That's an interesting. I would like to see.
Because I just never thought in my lifetime, I never thought I'd see the Lions on anybody's top 5 list.
Pretty fun, huh?
It is. This is a great ride.
The Dolphins are amazing on offense, and I get that. And Kellen Moore, shout out to Kellen Moore. Dallas. That's what happens when you try to blame the wrong person, man. You try to blame Kellen Moore, and it really was Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. And look what happens. Now Dak
think it was Mike? You think it's McCarthy?
Well, I mean, you look at the fact that Dak Prescott is great in the first quarter. He gets progressively worse in the second. He's horrible in the third and awful in the fourth. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert is good in the first, better in the second, greater in the third, and best or greatest in the fourth. So, same thing. He was really good in Cowboys. Look at the Cowboys' efficiency on offense. Look how many points per game they score. Look at how many yards they have.
Well, maybe the Chargers right now, they have the better quarterback of the two, obviously. So it makes Kellen Moore look better because Kellen Moore had his chance with Dak, and Dak failed him.
Yeah, but Dak failed him. But at the same time, the stats and the numbers didn't fail. Cowboys are one of the most efficient teams on offense in the NFL.
They were playing awesome.
The past 4 years.
Would they lose 4 games
now?
last year?
But now, even with it, they were number 1 in offense. They were number 1 in points for a couple of years. All that when Kellen Moore was there. And now all of a sudden, they're horrible. I think 1 and 1 plus 1 makes 2. Yeah, Dolphins, though, that defense. That's what bothers me about them. Their defense. Chargers scored a lot of points on them. They let a lot of people, some people score points on them.
And Achane is down now for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe more.
Guys, our Wolverine Wednesdays with Intern Alex comes up in about 12 minutes from now. We'll go around the NFL next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house that tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Stay out. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
The number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
All right, it's getting cold outside, so it's time to get inside at 5 Iron Golf, located at the Cambria Hotel in downtown Detroit. Play, practice, party the way you want to. And on Thursdays, you can join the Woodward Golf, the Woodward Network Golf League. It's 5 to 7. It is fun. 13 TrackMan simulator, so you can play any course around the country. I love to play Torrey Pines. That's just me. That's my opinion. Deal with it. Drinks, food, and also, it's just a fun place to be. The atmosphere is popping. Get downtown, 5 Iron Golf, Detroit.
And while you're at it, check out Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. You can find the brand you want, all GM brands, under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them. All right, Tom Mazaway, here we go.
All right.
Wolverine Wednesdays next, 10 minutes from now. NFL.
Let's do it.
Around the NFL now.
All right. Now, I've already told you we're getting stuck with the Giants and the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night football. The Giants, I'm going to need you to read this laundry list, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You have better eyes than me. The Giants are going to be without Daniel Jones and
Darren Waller, Andrew Thomas, Michael Schmitz,
John Michael Schmitz,
Wandale Robinson,
wide receiver,
Azil Alawahare,
they
set him, Matt Pert, not to be confused with Matt Vert. At practice today, Saquon Barkley missed the last 3 games. Will practice, expected to do more than he previously did.
I don't even know what to say about the New York Football
There's nothing
Giants.
to say.
Brian Dable, honestly, should try to get out of that contract and get the hell out of there. They are a freaking mess.
I did hear, I don't know who said it, Bray, but somebody, one of the national guys was like, he should force a trade to L.A. for the Chargers. Just go be with Justin Herbert.
Oh, yeah, I read that.
Force a trade for Justin. Go be with Justin Herbert.
They have traded coaches before. Mm-hmm. It has happened. I mean, look, but that's one of those things too, Ryan. Let me ask you this question. Is that one of those things where, like, you sign up and yourself is telling yourself, I mean, he was coach of the year last year. Yourself is telling yourself, one, I know I'm a good coach, and I will be able to right this ship. Two, it's the New York Giants. Got to take this job. Because that's a tough. It's been a tough job for coaches trying to replace Tom Coughlin, and even before Tom Coughlin, for a very long time. The Mara family, they just make a lot of bad decisions.
I do think it's different, though. Like, okay, if you're a coordinator, 99 times out of 100, unless you're Ben Johnson, you're going to take that job. Especially a preeminent franchise in the NFL. You're going to take the Giants' job. You're not going to say no and continue to be a coordinator. You're not going to do that. 2, let me just say this. When you watch tape of somebody and you think you can make that person into a better player, that's one thing. And all coaches are cocky. All coaches are confident in their own ability. And if they're not good coaches and will never be. So I guarantee you that Brian Daboll looked at Daniel Jones and is like, you know what? I could work with that. And then I also guarantee you the minute he became coach and actually saw him work on the field, he said, O-S-H-I-T. You know, just like you
it ain't Josh Allen.
You know, it ain't Josh Allen. And it's the same thing with Trey Lance. You know, I mean, when Kyle Shanahan and all these guys are looking at tape and they're like, oh, that guy, I got to trade 3 number ones and get up to get him. And then they get him on the field and they're like, what did I just do?
And
it's a different thing.
And that's why I asked the question, because Brian Daboll was my offensive coordinator in Cleveland. He came in with Eric Mangini. He saw that our quarterback was Brady Quinn. I love Brady, but he saw it was Brady Quinn. He saw that our quarterback was Charlie Fry backing up. He saw it was Derek Anderson. He had to look at that and say, there's no way in hell I can make this work. But he came anyway. Brian Daboll saw Eric Mangini do that, coming from the New York Jets. So he had to look at the Daniel Jones film and know Daniel Jones was no good. He had to know that was going to be his quarterback. He had to know what they've done offensively and in the draft in the last couple of years and knowing that it has not worked with the New York Giants. So that's why I asked the question.
Hey, T.J. Watt, we all know he is a man's man. You know, last week he played against the Ravens with a badly dislocated finger and a bunch of torn tendons in his hand. Never came out of the game, maybe for one play, and will play this week when the Steelers take the field again. T.J. Watt, actually the Steelers are off this week, so he gets the week off. But that's Ronnie Lott-esque right there. I know Ronnie cut his finger off, though. That's a step below what Ronnie Lott did.
Yeah, a strained finger and cutting your thumb off, two different things. Do
you think T.J. Watt is a wuss?
Nah.
Braylon just called him a wuss.
I'm not falling into y'all stuff.
I can't believe. Why would you call him a wuss?
I seen a guy play with a broken neck, so spare me a finger. I played with a jammed finger. You're going to be that big. I want to hear something crazy. Ryan Tucker, left tackle.
That hurts. Ooh.
You said what?
That finger hurts.
Look at my finger. I catch with my fingers. And my finger. I did this in the game. Didn't miss the game either. So.
Well, you're a man's man.
He is too. He is too. You compared him to Ronnie Lott. That's what I'm like.
I prefaced it, didn't I?
Yeah,
I prefaced
you went too far.
I don't know.
Hey, here's a guy that I don't know why he's not playing. It's Deshaun Watson.
Ooh.
Last week, a healthy scratch. He scratched himself.
Clearly.
This week, he is scratching himself from practice. They do not know what's going on with Deshaun Watson right now.
Well, he's not very good. That's a start.
I think one of the big things we talked about is when he came back, is it wasn't even the football stuff. We didn't talk about how long he had been off. We didn't talk about him getting back acclimated. How long would that take? To get back. No. But we went deeper, not into the rhythm of it. We went deeper. We was like, it's the mental side of this, Ryan. How is his mental going to be after all these allegations, which may not be allegations, or they may be, I don't know. All these allegations, the public perceptions, the comments, the things that people make about him. Then on top of that, missing that time and having to get back to it. I don't think his mental is right. And to be honest, I don't know how it could be. Like, I don't know how anybody can live in a world where everybody looks at them as a sexual deviant, if you will. I can't find the words for it. His mind is messed up, and he's in Cleveland on top of that. If you were a sexual deviant in LA, all right, you figure it out. It's nice out there. Cleveland, I just think it's mental. I think he'll have to deal with a lot. I think it's mental. Yeah.
All right, gang, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it is Wolverine Wednesdays with our good friend intern Alex. We'll have that for you next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Oh yeah, Big Boy. Let's go, baby. I can go for a cheeseburger right about now. How about the pretzel bacon cheeseburger? If you're not in the mood for cheeseburger, how about some chicken for you? The Dolly chicken sandwich and Bob's hot chicken sandwich is right on the menu for you. And upgrade those fries, guys. Forget the regular fries. How about those chili cheese fries? Braylon's favorite right there. We got to get back to Big Boy. I got to get me some of those. The loaded baked potato fries as well. Save room for dessert. Reese's peanut butter thunder cake and the funnel cake fries on the menu for you at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome Fieldhouse with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football K-8 that features AM/PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and so much more. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so hear me out. Go to the academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button for us. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people, and we certainly appreciate that. Coming up on 55,000 subscribers on this platform. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. It is a pleasure now to bring in great friend of the show. It is Wolverine Wednesdays with intern Alex, brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. Alex, I gotta tell you, we were so happy to talk to you because during your internship, you were so good. You were awesome talking about Michigan. So I gotta give Tom Mazaway a lot of credit for this. He had mentioned, let's talk to intern Alex on Wednesdays during the season. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on the show. It's a great pleasure to come back to Woodward Sports even after my great internship this summer and while school here in Ann Arbor.
All right, we're going to talk football, I swear, but what classes have you had today?
Today I've had an entrepreneurship class, Psych 223, the famous Dr. Fretz. And then I also had Econ 259, which is using Microsoft Excel for business and econ analytics.
Look at this. Look at this. He's not only a sports
savant,
he's a scholar as well. Yeah.
He's a gentleman and a scholar.
That's right. Hey, Alex, talk to me about the mood on campus right now. This football team, in my opinion, is the best in the country. What are people talking about on campus? What are you experiencing on the ground there in Ann Arbor?
The mood around campus is absolutely electric right now. Like you said, Michigan they probably are the best team in the country right now from what we've seen. They haven't played anyone great, but everyone's fired up, excited, looking to just beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten, hopefully win a playoff game this year and bring home the national championship to Ann Arbor for the first time since '97.
I was there.
For the first time. Hey, how you been, man?
I've been doing great. School's going well. More importantly, the team's doing good. So, yeah, life can be really much better over here.
What spots you been eating at, man? Pun intended.
I have been at Mr. Spots.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been using my dining plan. East Quad and South Quad have been treating me great recently. And then Free Vita is my other favorite spot around campus. So.
Let's talk about the Michigan Wolverines. Watching them this season, obviously the schedule is what it is. But one thing Ryan and myself have noticed is it seems like they've gotten better each week, regardless of who they're playing. Getting to the Big Ten, gets a little bit better against Rutgers, gets a little bit better against Nebraska, gets a little bit better against Minnesota. Talk about them getting better each week as they go into this game in about a couple weeks, finally against Penn State and a good opponent.
Yeah, I mean, we've been gelling together great throughout the season. Every year, you got turnover in new teams, so you have to get people gelling together. On the offensive line front, we started Nugent and Hinton in game one. They're transfers from the outside, so they're not really used to the Michigan system as much. But Nugent's really been playing great these past few weeks, looking like one of the best centers in college football. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we had a lot of secondary injuries to start the year between, Will Johnson, Rod Moore, Makari Page is banged up a little bit there. So really getting everyone back and in the swing of things. And I really think you've just seen Michigan get better and better week in, week out.
Talking to intern Alex on Wolverine Wednesdays here. Alex, talk to me about this offense, too. I mean, so many people look at J.J. McCarthy, and I think now we're starting to see exactly what this kid could be. What do you make of his play in that connection with the run and the pass, hitting some guys down the field?
I think J.J. McCarthy's looked like a top 5 quarterback in college football, and if you ask the efficiency stats, he might even be the best. He's currently number 1 in the country in QBR, and then 3rd in completion percentage, along with he's also increased his completion percentage on passes of 20-plus yards downfield by over 20% from last year, which is one of his big weaknesses. So he's really keyed in on the parts of his game that were kind of missing last year and seeing that to a whole nother level, which I think is great.
Let me ask you a question. Speaking about my position, wide receiver position, number 1, Roman Wilson is a guy they're giving number 1 to this year, and it seems like JJ and he have a connection like no other. Just talk about getting him going early on the year as opposed to last year where it took them a while to really get that passing game going, and we really didn't see it until they played Ohio State. But they've been getting it going early. JJ and Roman, talk about that connection.
Yeah, Rowan Wilson's looked like the best wide receiver of the Harbaugh era, in my opinion. He's gifted that legendary number 1 jersey that you got to wear. One of the most passing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns in the country coming from him. He's looked absolutely great. I would like to see Michigan get the ball to him in space a little more, let him because he's one of the fastest players in college football. Absolute track star in high school and, blazing fast on the field. So I'd like to see Michigan try to get him the ball in space a little more and not just in the end zone. But, if it's only touchdowns, that's a great compromise for Michigan as well.
Hey, Alex, welcome to the show, man. We're all proud of you here and wish you the best. I wanted to ask you about that Michigan State game, which they're going to be playing at night in a couple of weeks, 10 days from now, actually. And Ryan has been telling people, stay away from this game. Do not show up.
Not safe.
You don't think it's safe. We don't need that kind of stuff. What are you and the boys and the girls of Michigan thinking about? Are you going to East Lansing?
Yeah, I already got my ticket through the athletic department in the spring, and no matter what, I will be in East Lansing attending the game at night. I think it'll be a pretty easy win for Michigan with all the disarray Michigan State's in right now and just the performances throughout the year. So I'm not really concerned about anything on or off the field in East Lansing this year.
Hey, Alex, do you like the night game? Because when I was there, I loved the noon game. The noon game was a vibe. The noon game was the way the way of the world. It was awesome and a whole day planned. But as a student, for you, do you like the night game?
I know popular sentiment around campus and with my friends is they like the night games. They like it, the whole day leading up to it. Me personally, I kind of have a hard time waiting for Michigan to play, so I like just playing in that first window of the day, just getting up, getting at it, not worrying the rest of the day after Michigan gets a win, just get to enjoy the whole windows of college football. So yeah, if it were my perfect world, Michigan would be playing at noon every Saturday.
Hey, Alex, how about the alcohol being served at the game? How are the students? Are they liking that better?
I don't think they do it yet, do they?
I know they're doing it at State, I know. So they're not doing it at Michigan?
Not yet. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Michigan did not apply for a liquor license, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're not serving anything at the stadium still.
Well, I will warn you, when you're going into Spartan Stadium, do not wait till the last hour to go in because they don't know what they're doing as far as the liquor lines are going. They bleed into the concourse, and it's like you cannot move. So if you want to get to your seat on time without getting in a fight, make sure you get in there a little bit earlier than you need to, especially when everyone's going to be all liquored up for a 7:30 kickoff.
Hey, Alex, what's the latest? What's the latest with we saw Jim Harbaugh earlier in the week say he wants to be where he's wanted. Do you know anything about a contract extension for Harbaugh coming up here anytime soon?
Yeah, the rumor mill says that Harbaugh will have a contract extension by the end of the month. I think John U. Bacon even tweeted something out there similar like that. So I really hope it gets done. It would just benefit Michigan a ton from a recruiting standpoint. Not having to deal with this song and dance every offseason of will Harbaugh stay and coach the team next year? Will he go to the NFL? Also, if we could get this contract extension done, that'd be great for Michigan moving forward. And he is one of the top 5 coaches in college football right now. has completely turned this program around, has it rolling. So I would absolutely love if Harbaugh gets the contract extension soon.
Us too.
2 big games this week that'll have national championship implications for teams. USC, Notre Dame, Washington, Oregon. Who do you like in those matchups?
I like Washington. I think they're the number 3 team in college football this year behind Georgia and Michigan. Michael Penix in that passing attacks is just so good and lethal. Even though Oregon handled Colorado pretty well, who also has a good passing attack, I don't really see them handling Michael Penix that well. And then USC, Notre Dame, I think that's going to be a close game, but I do not see Notre Dame having the offensive firepower to keep running with USC. Even if USC has no defense, I think Caleb Williams, Zachariah Branch, Mario Williams, all those guys are just absolutely rolling out there. And I think
Zachariah
USC
Branch
gets their
healthy?
first win in South Bend since 2011.
Is Zachariah Branch going to be healthy this week, IA?
I think he will be healthy.
Okay.
I know he was out last week, but he's a scratch closer to game time last week, so.
Okay.
All right, intern Alex. We'll talk to him every Wednesday at about this time. We appreciate you, bud. And again, Wolverine Wednesdays brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. Thanks, Alex.
See you,
Go
AI.
study
Thanks
now.
for having me.
Go get some studying done. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. We appreciate it. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go back to the NFL. I do want to touch on baseball. 3 games today as well. But first, a message from the Lions post-game show. That's right. Tom Mazaway, you got this one, buddy.
I do,
What
man.
do you got going on?
We'll see you Sunday. Don't forget, we'll see you every Sunday or Thursday or Monday. Wherever there's a Lion game, we've got you covered after the game. Matter of fact, we got you covered during the game as well with our watch party. We follow the watch party, Stick and I, Anson. We got other people in the booth. We got Luke, Kool-Aid. JB was there last week. Everybody having a great time. So we will be on right after every single Lions game on the post-game show. We have you guys calling in from the chat. We have a great time. I hope you guys join us. Last week, another big audience. We hope to see you again this Sunday after the Tampa Bay game. Remember, it's a 4:25 start, so we'll see you a little bit after dinner right here on Woodward Sports and our YouTube channel.
There you go. That's a hell of a long time. Good job, Mazaway. Also, I want to tell you about Fairway Packing Company. Our friends for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience a Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. If you can't see them in person, you can order online. They ship next day. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Source age prime pack to perfection.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
There you go. If you're watching on YouTube, it looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Bullseye Event Group
It
joined
does.
Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party, Eastern Market Shed 5, always a bash. It starts Monday Night Football. I believe that's a 5:15 start. The official Lions tailgate back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports? Be treated like a VIP. Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets online today. BullseyeEventGroup.com, BullseyeEventGroup.com, or Woodward Sports. How about that?
All right.
All right, Tom Mazaway, we'll go back around the NFL. A couple of more stories before we get into some baseball, playoff baseball.
Oh, you going to let me have my baseball minute?
Absolutely. I'm kind of into it now.
All right, good.
I like the day games.
Yeah.
There was a game. I went home. There's a game on.
6 o'clock games.
You can't beat it.
It's beautiful.
I can't stay up till
I don't blame
10:30.
you. I don't blame you.
10:30 at night. I just can't do it.
Well,
so
tonight.
I'm not into baseball because you can watch 5 innings and then you go to bed.
Yeah.
The Phillies Atlanta game.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
Heaven.
It was.
Heaven. But we'll start with a little football still. Desmond Ridder, guys. Say what you want about this kid, but he does not lose at home. Last Sunday, they win that game for the 31st win in his career since college football. He's 31-0 when he plays the Cincinnati Bearcats and his Atlanta Falcons on a home turf. That's pretty cool.
That is an incredible number. And Atlanta seems to be like the forgotten team, too, in the NFL. They
win ugly.
They are 3-2. They just made a trade for a wide receiver. Van Jefferson is a good player. He produces. He might not be a number 1 or a number 2, but he makes Atlanta better for sure.
Absolutely. He's a Josh Reynolds.
Gives them somebody that can run routes. I think a big thing for them is they didn't have a guy that can run routes. Drake London's still trying to figure it out, wide receiver, second year out of USC. Gives them a guy that knows how to run routes that you can count on. Remember when Josh Reynolds came to the Lions and Jared Goff had a guy can run routes, be in the right spots that you can build some connection with? That could be them for our Desmond Ridder.
All right, let's move it on to the Cowboys again. They're losing another terrific player. Leighton Vander Esch has a neck injury. He's a guy that plays with a neck pad, a neck roll as well. He injured himself again. You can't play around with the neck. He's probably going on IR, and hopefully it will not be worse than that. But the Cowboys keep dropping, man. They keep dropping.
Linebacker is one of the most difficult positions to play as far as collisions go. I mean, the amount of collisions that position has, my goodness.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's a tough hombre.
Yeah, he keeps some tough linebackers. I remember Sean Lee was another one that played there. I think he actually replaced Sean Lee. Sean Lee was a tough SOB, but concussions, they call hold.
Hey, Thursday Night Football, guys. Tomorrow, we told you about it. Broncos at the Chiefs. Chiefs are a 10.5-point favorite. But did you know, Ryan and Braylon, that Thursday Night Football's numbers are getting better as the weeks go on? We all know this is their second year now, and we all know the problems. When you go on it, you can't change channels. You can't hit the last button. It takes 5 minutes to get to a game. If I'm running in from bowling and I want to catch the second half, I got to go to my remote, Prime Video. Then I got to wait. Then it comes on and it says, who's watching Prime Video? Dad. Okay, let me go to Dad. Oh, okay. What do you want to watch, Dad? Boom. I want to watch the football game. Wait more. Then it asks you, do you want to watch from the beginning or do you want to watch a synopsis of the game? I want to watch from the beginning. Then they'll play a little spot, and then you'll hear Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit tripping all over themselves. But the numbers are going up.
Because they were so bad last year. And, of course, the NFL is king. We know that. The only problem is those numbers that you just saw, compare that to a Sunday game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's half.
Yeah. It's more than the WNBA, though, and ESPN always brags about the WNBA numbers getting better. I think they got up to 700,000 viewers or something like that. But, it is improving. I think the broadcast is horrible. I think their pregame, postgame, halftime, those guys are terrible. Horrible. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, they have absolutely no chemistry.
I did even better. I didn't even know Kirk Herbstreit was still on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Like, he says nothing.
Yeah.
He's so scared to speak.
Yeah.
I get
and he's the better of the two.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's bad, man.
Well, maybe he should eat more vegetables, Al Michaels.
Maybe he should. That's the only thing I like about Al Michaels, that he came out and said he's never eaten a vegetable
Can you believe
in
that?
his entire life.
His mom had when he was 18.
Yep.
When she was 18.
I was like, whoa.
And
he came on 18?
His mom had him when she was 18.
Yeah, so she was a young mom.
So she was a young mom. So he just kind of had the run of the mill. He could do whatever he wanted. He didn't want to eat vegetables. So it was just a thing.
He turned out all right, though.
I say it worked for
so.
him.
Yeah.
I'd say it worked for him.
I think so.
All right, we got a triple header today. Are we doing that right now? Triple header in baseball.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no. We can, Parker, can we do this now, or do I need one more break?
No, that's it.
Oh,
We're
good. Okay, go ahead. Triple header in
Triple
baseball.
header in baseball tonight. The National League Division Series is back, and then the third game, the fourth game of the American League Division Series between the Twins and the Astros are going on as well. Astros need one more win, and they will meet the Texas Rangers. I remember we said this a while ago, that it could be Houston against Texas. Can you imagine Justin Verlander against Max Scherzer in a game? Because Max is coming back for the ALCS. Congrats to Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers. They annihilated the Baltimore Orioles, who never lost a series all season long, and they got swept in a big way last night. Did you watch any of that Texas Rangers show?
Oh, yeah, just for a couple innings, though, because it was, what was it, 6-0?
7-0.
7-0, and then that was it. There was no drama, no nothing at all.
They did load the bases in the eighth, but even that was not going to do it. And the Rangers are tough, man, and they're the only one in the whole place that have not won a World Series. The old Washington Senators, and they went to 2 World Series back in 11, and I think it was 14, if I'm not mistaken. But they did not win it. So they are the only team out of the whole bunch in the playoffs that have never won. In the National League, get the Phils and the Braves 1-1. It's going to Philly. Hope the weather holds up for them. And then the nightcap, can the Dodgers stave off elimination against the upstart Diamondbacks? They're up 2-0 on the L.A. Dodgers.
Wouldn't it be great to see Dusty Baker and Bruce Bochy? I mean, the two managers.
Yeah.
Texas has Bruce Bochy and Dusty Baker, the Astros. You talk about old school managers. These guys manage by feel. Everybody else wants this new, young, hot, analytics guy. These guys manage by their gut. And that's just what it takes.
It's fun.
And
man.
look where they are now.
It's fun.
Look where they are.
I would love to
Texas is
see
there.
I would love to
Houston
see.
will be there.
I would love to see the Rangers against the Phillies. That would be my favorite World Series out of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And hockey last night, Vegas Knights, they're the defending Stanley Cup champs. They put on a hell of a show, man. They even had. Did you see what they had on the ice? First, they skate
slot
the
machine?
cup. They have a slot machine on the ice, a huge slot machine. Someone pulls the handle, and up comes the banner that they hang up in the rafters.
Jackpot.
It's unbelievable.
Good stuff.
And Connor
man.
Bedard beat the Penguins. He beat out Sid the Kid. Sid the Kid, man.
Sid scored.
Do you know Sid the Kid is in his 19th year?
I do.
Unbelievable.
I can't.
It makes
Honestly,
me feel so
I was
old.
shocked when I saw that.
Makes me feel so old.
And we're like literally almost the same year. That's how I remember.
Hey, Red
He's
Wings
04,
open tomorrow
I
at
think, yeah.
Jersey against the Devils.
Look at that.
Home Saturday night against the Tampa Bay
Oh yeah,
Lightning.
same year. I knew I was right. Same
Go
year.
Wings.
05. 05 was a good year, man.
All right, gang, break. Get us out of here, my friend.
We appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate you for watching, man. This is what we do. We're getting better and better and better. And it seems like the Lions are getting better and better and better, too. I don't know if we had a hand in that, but maybe you did. Appreciate you. We're getting bigger. The network's growing. The show's growing. That's because we got guys like Parker, guys like JB, Maz. Appreciate all you do. Ryan Ermanni, my brother. How you feeling, Lauren? You good?
Just a regular guy from the neighborhood.
And with that, we'll see you later. So am I.